Welcome to All About Albemarle. I'm David Fath, the Communications Director for the city, and joining me today is Tom Johnson, our Director of Public Utilities. Good to have you with us, Tom.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Welcome to Albemarle. You've been here for just a few weeks now.
That's right. Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your background and how you landed here.
Sure. I have been working in and around municipal utilities for, I guess, north of 35 years. So I've worked at some very large municipalities around North Carolina and some small ones. So have done some work on the private side around Albemarle, so always loved the area and recently got the opportunity to come back. So glad to be here.
Yeah, we're very glad to have you with us. Tell us, for people who may not know, they hear public utilities. What does that mean? What is a public utilities department?
So public utilities for Albemarle, that means a public utility, electric utility, drinking water utility, where we provide drinking water, treat and provide drinking water, and also wastewater collection and treatment.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we always try to explain about a public utility, when you talk about whether it's electric, water, these are operated not with tax dollars.
That's absolutely correct. So general statute says when you run a municipal utility, you have to run that utility based on your bill collection. That is the only revenue you have. So you have to. It creates a situation where you have to make sure you run efficiently.
Right, and you can't put tax dollars towards it. One of the things we also explain, especially when it relates to being a public power community, when people hear that, that means it is a not-for-profit. So what is collected goes back into the system as an investment.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and we have a lot of investments, not only in public power, but in also the water and wastewater side of things. Can you talk to us a little bit about some of the big projects, for example, happening in the water side of things?
Sure. So drinking water, we have two large drinking water treatment plants, multiple elevated tanks around the system, and of course a lot of infrastructure that you don't see that's underground. That stuff has to be maintained and renewed. So we're currently working on engineering for a large project at one of the water treatment plants to handle solids that's a byproduct of drinking water. It's not something that you would ever know at the tap, but it is something that has to be because of state regulations, it has to be dealt with. So we need to make upgrades to that, to those processes.
Yeah, those are key updates, and there's something those things are built into the city's strategic plan. We have a goal of improving infrastructure.
Yep.
So all those projects fall under a plan for the city's future. Let's talk a little bit about the wastewater side, the sewer side.
Yep.
There's always a little bit of confusion with that. People see what is a storm drain and think that that's a sewer, but there's a big difference there.
Yes, so that's easily mistaken. So when you look at a manhole lid in the street, it's very difficult to determine, just to the regular eye, is that stormwater or infrastructure to carry rainwater away, or is that actually sewer? There is a big difference. We work very hard to keep those two systems separate. Mm-hmm. We spend a lot of resources looking for places where that rainwater is infiltrating into our sewer system, because it takes away from efficiency and capacity that we need for the wastewater treatment. So very important to find those areas and deal with them, whether that's through pipe replacement or other projects. So a lot of our resources, during normal operations is just trying to locate those areas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big deal trying to keep that rainwater from interfering.
It's
right?
a constant battle. It
right.
really, especially in a system of like we have here in Albemarle, that there's areas that are well over 80 years old, and things deteriorate. So you have to stay on top of that.
Yeah, and the city has been doing that. We're on phase 3 of a project to make sure that system is really performing the way it's supposed to.
That's right. So we pinpoint areas through testing that we know could be taking on water, and either renew the piping and the manholes and that kind of thing. They're just renewing the infrastructure.
Yeah, and just a kind of final point of clarification on that. When we talk about sewer, that is anything that happens when you flush the commode, when you wash your dishes, when you do your laundry.
Right.
That water is going into a sewer system.
That's correct.
It's not mixing into that stormwater infrastructure.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about the third thing here, electric. There's a lot of work going on there. What are some projects you want to highlight?
So a couple big ones. There's currently underway. What we're trying to do is maintain our electric system to be reliable and safe. So two big projects we're trying to achieve from that is one is reconductoring, and that is just completed a major project along the 52 corridor where we're reconductoring that corridor through there, and basically what that is replacing wire and the gear and the poles and that kind of thing. And what that does is, number one, it makes it safe, it updates it, and it gives us capacity for the future. Mm-hmm. And then once, now that we're wrapping that up, we're starting engineering work to do the same thing along the 74 corridor.
Very good. And one of the things that I've also noticed is the tree trimming work that's been going on.
Well, that's part two of this. Mm-hmm. So those two, you need to maintain your system by, cutting that vegetation away from lines and keeping that stuff cut back. So those two items make your system safer and more reliable.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got 750 miles of lines across the whole system. And I know, go ahead.
It's a major undertaking.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Yeah. It's going to take several months to do all that trimming work and be sure that we're up to speed. And the last thing to mention, we've talked a lot about as well, the advanced metering infrastructure project that continues to roll on.
So the meters that are on the side of your house or on the side of a building, those meters have aged. Albemarle has about 9,500 roughly. We've replaced about a third of those, and we're using the latest technology. It's called advanced metering infrastructure. It gives us real-time data for outages and that kind of thing. It will allow the customer to get to be able to interface and understand what their power bill, what's happening with it. So a lot of exciting technology coming.
Absolutely. Big upgrades coming our way. Tom, I really appreciate you sharing your time with us.
Sure.
Again, welcome to Albemarle, and looking forward to more big projects in the future here.
Thanks.
That'll do it for this edition of All About Albemarle. For Tom Johnson, I'm David Fath. Thanks for listening.